Warning, this video is not for the faint-hearted, so if you're easily upset, please don't watch. This is remote influencing and remote manipulation, where we're developing the DIA's Project Stargate to remotely influence and then remotely manipulate targets, which was the plan of the DIA's program that ended in '97 and went super black after that. And of course the new Project Stargate with all the Borg and CERN and the quantum alignment via White Rabbit and the quantum computers, all of which we've explained in more detail than you get anywhere else. And none of the intelligence agencies knew any of this stuff either. It was between some of the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, and of course the aliens who they sold us out to. Now, if you're going to remotely influence somebody, you need first of all to develop remote viewing. So you can get the remote viewing course off Mike, and then you need to be able to then get your quantum field to enter their quantum field, and via quantum perturbations you can then remotely sense what's going on in their body or in their brain, taking all their secrets and of course knowing their physical state and emotions. Very good for managers. That's why I did remote sensing for managers. And then once you've developed that, you can, with your quantum field, now in them, because you bilocate into them, which we've explained, same position as you see them on the image, and then fall asleep in the same position twice to wake up inside them. That then syncs your quantum field with their quantum field, and you possess them like a demon. And the Americans call this remote influencing. Remote influencing is simply, remote influence is simply demonic possession, where you're the demonic entity entering the target to take them over, change their moods, make them suicidal, make them run under a bus, make them take sleeping pills, whatever you wish. And as long as your quantum field is much, much, much bigger than their quantum field, we can use Couch-Vampirism, where your utter hatred for the target cancels out any psychic powers or the ability to resist you. And with Couch-Vampirism #1, you can be given the power to remotely influence people. If you're a vampire, from yours truly. And Couch-Vampirism #3, you can have 1 billion psychics, but they're all only as powerful as the most powerful. Therefore, if you're a vampire, you're simply much more powerful than anyone you're targeting by many orders of magnitude, to the point where you simply swamp them and take them over. So, demons do this and need the acceptance of the victim to fully enter them. Of course, the Borg have given their total acceptance and signed on the dotted line their total torture contract, by their own free will, getting the kill shot, so they're no problem. But people who haven't got the kill shot, of course, have to be in the category that wanted to steal me, and they've signed on the dotted line that all of this subset of the human race have signed a contract to be totally possessed by me, because they wanted to totally possess me. And this subset is anyone included in the set of Jeremiah Schwarzenegger's ilk. That's everyone Jewish, everyone that uplines to the Rothschilds, or the CIA, or MI6, or the DIA, or Mossad, and if they're not kill-shotted, it doesn't matter, because all of the Jews and all of the populations that uphold authority, e.g. pay their taxes, obey the laws, etc., are all included. So, to take it further, what you need to do is to possess this piece of filth as your first port of call, because then it opens up not only the Borg, which we explained last time, but all the CIA, DIA, Rothschilds, Rockefeller, the royal family, and remember, everything in the West run by Jews and Jewish, so you can go into Daisy Dove and Katy Perry and Bloom and all the other A-listers who are totally controlled by the Jews. Hollywood's run by the Jews, the music industry is run by the Jews, the entire West is run by the Jews. So, what you do here is you bilocate into Jeremiah Schwartz. And he's a giant doorway to any Western target. It won't work on non-Westerners who aren't part of the Rothschild Empire, or non-Jews. But since, let's be honest, we're targeting the West with this technology, and I wouldn't be flavour of the year if it could target the Vietnamese, since I'm living in Vietnam. This fail-safe the technology, so only Jews and Westerners can be targeted by these remote influencing, remote manipulation protocols. And of course, since Trump is wedded to the Jewish race, Elon Musk says he's a super Jew, he's Jewish, and all the other billionaires in the West who aren't Jewish are closely affiliated with the Jews. It's remote influencing, remote manipulation time. So, we've explained how you bilocate, just take the same position as this F-wit, fall asleep twice, and you're in him. But now we're going to take it further. We've demonically possessed this piece of filth, and of course we do it at least 3 times a day, because we want to get up to waking up in him 100 times, which means then since he's so similar because of chaos to all of the Jews and all of the CIA filth and all of the Western filth and all of their affiliates in other countries that are in bed with the West, we can then bypass having to choose 100 targets. We simply wake up in this piece of filth 200 times, or 100 times times 2 to bilocate. And therefore by the 100th monkey experiment, we then open the doorway that all of that species, which are the Jews and everything Jewish, and all the slaves of the Jew, e.g. the Westerners, and all the countries that are run by the West, are open for remote influencing and remote manipulation. And it's very easy to wake up 100 times in Jeremiah Schwartz. And of course, if you want to redouble it to make it a standing wave of remote influencing, remote manipulation, then you can simply choose 100 Jeremiah Schwarzenegger targets. But since this CIA screwball had his cult where they got put in coffins and sucked dry and their souls plunged into Jewish Gehenna for Jeremiah Schwartz, as girlfriend explained.
So that way you continue to feed his energy system. So he is vampirizing you. You are not getting energy transference from him to you. He is vampirizing you in order for you to make him more money, okay? So most oftentimes the way that he has this set up is so that way you get initiated into DOT, utilizing the number 11. The way that he does this is he generally will move the paper in reverse and then forward. And what that does is it creates an energy vortex. He also uses the crystals, clear quartz crystal, as well as the tarot cards and the elements. If you are aware of his magic training course, which I filmed, by the way, this is how he sets up all of his rituals. So it's going to be very easy to reverse them. So that kind of breaks down his intention, which I filmed, by the way. This is how he sets up all of his rituals. So it's going to be very easy to reverse them. So that kind of breaks down his intention. It is to vampirize you. It is to send you into his energy vortex. And basically it's a soul entrapment, so that way he can feed off of you. What this does is it starts to bring up very severe trauma. And if you have the capacity to be able to handle that, by all means, it works, right? But then what he does is, because it's bringing up such severe trauma, his intention is then for you to sign up for his mentorship so that he can help you work through the trauma that maybe you didn't have capacity yet to build. Now, this is going to be a little bit exploitive of what I have to say. But Jeremiah does not have a background very deeply in psychology.
So one can see that possessing this piece of filth, you get all of these little culties sucked dry in the process. So hopefully, with the CIA having promoted this piece of filth to take over from me, then hopefully he's got a lot of little culties to be sucked dry by all the vampires. Remember, when 100 vampires have sucked this piece of filth dry, we've got the 100 monkey effect again. And as you can see, this little Jew boy was set up to take over from me after I got slung in Obama's torture prison, with Sunak being the willing participant. Oh, we're jailing when he comes back, we'll ship him off to your facility. And meanwhile, the Jew is saying, oh, he can't make me view, don't talk to me, he's unwell. And the whole point of this was to make sure this lot thought I was a simple drug dealer, and of course all the Judases wiped all of my content off the internet to help them. Judas 1, Judas 2, Judas 3, Judas 4. So you can see the plan. Unfortunately for the Judases, I was just using it to hang MI5 and the British government out to dry, and simply giving them rope to hang themselves. Now they're the laughing stock of every intelligence group of note, including corporate intelligence. Why the F did you let this guy leave the country and go to Vietnam? You must have been out of your mind. Well, we let him out the country because we didn't know that he knew so much. And Why? What was your basis? Well, he wasn't Jewish and he wasn't white. He was just some sanding a piece of filth from a Turk. And of course, we all know they're Amalek, an animal. So how the hell can an animal know anything? So you can see the racism of the British deep state and the Americans played right into my hands. It's good being an animal because, as I say, you can't know anything if you're an animal, can you, cameraman?
No, you can't.
I know. Not like my cameraman who's white and is, you know, one of the giants of the species, a dyslexic, ex-caretaker, which puts him light years ahead of the rest of the whites who've given the West over to my lot. Thank you very much. We'll have all your countries happy. And if you open your mouth, you get thrown off to the gulag. If you retweet, you get thrown off to the gulag. I like that. So you can see how much fun this is. But anyway, this piece of filth was supposed to take over from me. And of course, here's a contract. He tried to steal me with the CIA and all of his ilk. Signed a contract. So he's been stolen with all the CIA, all the white boys, all the Jew boys, white boys in the West. I don't think the Russians signed a contract. But definitely, if you're white and Western, you're part of this subset, aren't you? You don't like sandings like me, do you? No. They need to be done in. Instead of which, our lot's taken over your countries. Laugh, laugh. So you can see Jeremiah Schwartzy boy is your first port of call and is the doorway because he tried to steal me to steal the entire Western population and all the Jews. And here we've got a little Schwartzy boy, how to drain your enemies. So he was trying to drain me, so you can drain them. So when you've bilocated into this piece of filth, which you do 3 times a day, you're draining him dry and draining the Jewish race dry and draining all the whites dry and draining all the non-whites who are good Western citizens dry. To feed yourself. This is the feeding frenzy. How do you do that? Varnava, when you're connected to the 4 vector of electromagnetism, you can drain them dry. How are we connected? I'm watching my smart TV, thank you, in my armchair. And I've been spending months researching this, months and months. I haven't had time to go beaching or enjoy myself because all I do is stay home researching and preparing these videos. It's a 24/7 occupation. As I say, everyone should feel sorry for me and send at least $1,000 per person to me for all the time I'm spending on these videos. Now, of course, we've got 100 videos all done by the CIA, all marketed madly by the CIA and the American deep state. So simply scrolling through 100 of the videos, just like this. Charges you up by the 100 monkey effect. So if you are just being lazy and you want to charge up, you simply go to this site and scroll through it, charging up yourself to the gazoo after you've bilocated in this piece of filth, which you should be doing 3 times a day to suck dry the Jewish race and all the Westerners and everyone that uplines to the Rothschilds, Rockefellers and royal family. Isn't it easy? Even my cameraman can do this. And he's dyslexic. So you can say simply you're feeding by scrolling through the videos. And as you can see, the CIA have been very busy. They've got a huge team fronting Jeremiah Schwartzy boy, who was supposed to be taking over from me and all my content erased from the internet. And you look up Tim Refat, and number 3 on Google for Tim Refat was Jeremiah Schwartzy boy, not affiliated to King Empire. So you can see the plan, and of course all the Judases got rid of all my content. So I ceased to exist. I was cancelled. So you can see the big plan Luckily, of course, yours truly was just playing the long con. As you can see, they've been very, very busy. There we go. What? Is it as simple as this? Sucking dry the Jews and all the Western race, CIA, DIA, NSA, MI6, Mossad. Yep. Couch. This is called couch remote manipulation. Couch-Vampirism. Do you think you can do this, cameraman?
I think I can just about do it.
Do you think you need an instruction manual? And as you can see from the enormous content, the CIA, this is a whole department of the CIA that's been doing this. These aren't cheaply made videos by some Jewish F-wit. This is one gigantic operation. Look at it. And if you don't believe me, you try and make all these videos on your own. They're slickly made, as I say. This was the CIA frontman to take me over. He's trying to steal me, so he signed a contract that since he couldn't steal me, I can steal all of the Jews and all the Westerners, plus my IOU, that they're Omega Hellies for all eternity, up to source level, and feed me as Lucifer and his cohorts torture them for all eternity. As you can see, this should be your first port of call every day, just swiping through, charging yourself via Varnamo. Sucking dry Starmer, Trump, Elon Musk, the entire CIA, DIA, NSA, MI6, MI5, Mossad, all the European filth and their intelligence agencies, their militaries, all the Pentagon half-wits. As you can see, it's so simple, Varnamo. And he signed a contract. I'm going to steal you, all your energy is going to be mine, and all your power's mine, when I've got no chance of doing it. So they're Sochivanov number 2, and of course I can use Sochivanov number 1, where any power I want, I give to myself, and they have to suffer eternally in Omega Hell to give me those powers, all from the Wheel of Time. Where do you get the energy from the Wheel of Time powers? From my torture toys, from the things I suck dry. What do vampires suck dry? The Jews and Westerners. As I say, I would not be popular if it was Vietnamese, would I? No, 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 that would not go down well, but he's American, so the Americans and Westerners and Jews can be sucked dry. And as you go through, you'll see really boring videos when he starts to steal from me and is then appropriated by the CIA as their front man. Let's go for the shorts because I'm a glutton for Judas and the Jews being Jude. It's vampire sucking time, and I'm sucking him like a lolly. And he, of course, is a little jelly baby, and I start bite the head off, bite the limbs off, eat the jelly baby, Jewish jelly baby. Yum, yum, yum. And remember, the Jew filth, Christ, blood of Christ, body of Christ. So we can get all of the Catholics through Jeremiah Schwartz, because they're all part of the ilk. He was going to be the Jewish Messiah to save Israel. So all of the Catholics can be sucked dry, while the Orthodox Christians can't, because the Russians are fighting against his ilk, so they can't be included. I don't know about, well, the Greeks can, they're good. Greek Orthodox, yeah, that's good. Finished. Now, as you can see, Easy. Vampirism made easy. So even my cameraman can get up to speed and do it every day. Isn't that easy, cameraman?
It is.
Go on Psychic Warfare on YouTube, and what pops up? The little Jew boy, Jeremiah Schwartz, C-boy. And of course we've got the Clutch, so we can suck dry the Clutch, and all their fans too. But to continue, now you bilocate it into this thing, you do it 3 times a day, and as you can see the immense amount of energy you'll get. No point calling yourself a vampire if you don't suck dry the Jews and all the Westerners 3 times a day. And you know, you can simply find one of the videos of this piece of filth that fits your bilocating, and just use that 3 times a day. Now, let's take it from the simply nasty to the hellish. Now, what we do next is, after we've learned bilocation and bilocate into all our torture toys, because that's what all Westerners and Jews are, the next step is to bilocate into this. If you didn't know what the assemblage point was, then here's some YouTube videos. Try this one.
Of the assemblage point led the sorcerers of ancient Mexico to discover that the assemblage point shifted position under conditions of normal sleep, or extreme fatigue, or disease, or the ingestion of psychotropic plants. Those sorcerers saw that when the assemblage point was at a new position, a different bundle of energy fields went through it, forcing the assemblage point to turn those energy fields into sensory data and interpret them. Those shamans maintained that each new world that comes about in such a fashion is an all-inclusive world, different from the world of everyday life, but utterly similar to it in the fact that one could live and die in it. Assemblage point positions and their effects as taught by Carlos Castaneda in private classes. The blue region where the assemblage point is up over the left shoulder blade is the position of all of humanity at this time. It's your ordinary daily world. If a sight from a lower position of the assemblage point manages to sneak into your view, you shake it off as unreal and virtually erase it from your memory in less than 2 seconds. The green region is a familiar place even to modern humans. It is the place of bliss and minor visions during meditation, and it's where prayers are answered. You can even visit heaven in this region, or accidentally get a boost to visit God in person. But rarely does anyone go further than this in our modern world, and some classify what comes below this as evil, so as to ward off people from straying beyond this green area. The red region is a vast expanse of endless practical magic. The pieces of your energy body become very vivid there, and will swirl around in front of you, mixing with a jet blackness which sets their edges on fire. In this region, just about anything is possible. You can assemble an entire freeway overpass right there in your room, find a real spirit helper, and send her to drive across that overpass as you watch from below. If you stretch the intense purple puffs of your energy body with your hands, it will often result in shape-shifting you into a beast of immense strength, or an insect form that can fly away. This is not done with the eyes closed or sitting down. You do this walking around with your eyes wide open and absolutely sober. This region is so alluring, it is considered a place to avoid prolonged contact with by advanced sorcerers. There is just too much you need to see past this. You can't afford to dwell in what is called the shift below. If you manage to shun the shift below, despite all the power it gives you, a crucial moment comes in the movement of the assemblage point. It changes sides on the body. From below, it rises up the front, into the orange area. There's a vast region there where you have a choice, to go back to the intense magic of the red region when needed, or to forge ahead into the phantom realms, where a whitish light dances on surfaces, inviting you to view alien worlds. When the assemblage point is soundly in the front of your body, it becomes possible to assemble those phantom alien worlds you could only barely perceive before, and if you are lucky enough to have an ally, you will occasionally be able to leave your practice room through a solid wall, to venture off into an entirely different world. There is too much to say about this orange region, but the most important thing of all is that somewhere in here is the place of no pity, where you lose all grief, worry, and obsessive concern for that imaginary entity you call yourself. You simply are now. A radical change in your breathing.
That can't be me, cameraman, can it? Because I pity everybody, don't I? I'm always crying over everyone and everybody else. Am I not? I'm not totally ruthless, am I, cameraman?
No, you're not at all.
Not at all. I'm a nice guy.
You are.
Body takes over that function and you are freed from it. The final region explained to us by Carlos Castaneda in a private class was the realm of silent knowledge. He created 2 copy store-bound publications advising us to find this region where we would gain new guidance. Carlos was dying.
I wish I could reach that region, cameraman, because I've been spending all day for the past week on this video. As I say, I haven't had time to do anything else. I say all the vampires should feel so sorry for me. They send $1,000 to me for all the time and effort I put into this video. Don't you agree, cameraman?
That's a good price.
Don't you agree, Joshy?
It's a good price.
Yeah. I'll be expecting the money ASAP.
Find new teachers, saying all of his companions agreed it was the best thing for us to do. There you will gain teachers like Porfirio from the Eagle's Gift, a powerful Mazatec wizard who perhaps did not actually exist at all in human realms, but who nevertheless taught Nestor to read the mold marks on plants. In this purple region, the shine of your assemblage point aligns to that of your energy body, resulting in all the knowledge men have ever known, currently know, and perhaps even will know in the future, there, floating in the air above you.
And of course that's the region that you can enter when you watch Taylor Swift's Fortnite video. The Akashic Record, and all the files and the dead typists.
Knowledge are endless and can even be confusing. So Carlos and Don Juan advised us to find a slowly spinning whirl of purple light with jet blackness moving around it, lighting up an intense pomegranate dot from which text could be read. The idea was that text requires no interpretation, and so it's a better way for beginners to view raw silent knowledge. In the early books it's called seeing.
Right, so that's the assemblage point, which is hangs over the right shoulder blade. If anyone says the left, then they're lying. The right. Now, if you have the Grail patterns available from Mikey Boy, you'll see the penultimate Grail pattern where the assemblage point hasn't gone down into the shamanic realms. When you go down, you're losing consciousness, you're losing the high end. It's all lower frequency stuff. So you can see why the Borg are used to turn 5G gigahertz into terahertz, much higher frequency, because it enables the demons that live in positions down the bottom of the egg to rise. That's the reason that we have 6G. They need the terahertz frequency to allow the intradimensionals to move their assemblage points upwards to the lower assemblage point, because all the Borg now have been descended into the animal realm, the realm of the beast. They're all beasts. That's why they've been turned into beasts by the genetic modification. So their assemblage points have fallen into the beast realm, and